It's never easy to talk about a topic that is so controversial, not only in Australia, but throughout some of the world's democracies. Same-sex marriage has had quite a few heated debates, not just throughout its past, but especially over the past couple of days. All I know, and all people that agree with me know, that same-sex marriage needs to be legal, primarily because it's only right and it's only just. I'm not going to lie with you. I didn't know how I was going to present this speech tonight, because I didn't want to stand here and tell you the exact same arguments and details that you see on the media today. So what I'm going to do tonight is give you a personal view, what same-sex marriage means to me and how it will affect my life. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm 15 years old and I'm openly gay. I didn't choose to be, no one ever does. But I have a vision. In my future, sometime down the track, I want to get married. I want to settle down. I want to have a family with the person that I love. But it's because of these laws, I can't do that. Tonight, I want to tell you a little bit about my history, about when I came out. I came out in October of last year to my family and friends. But years beforehand, I knew I was gay, but I didn't want to accept it. I just couldn't handle the truth. I was terrified. I was afraid of what society would think of me. Yes, I was afraid of the homophobic people and comments. But more importantly, I was afraid of how different my life would be simply because I am gay compared to as if I was straight. And that's the one thing that absolutely terrified me. But what gave me the courage to come out and tell people who I really am was the love and support that I had at home from my family, especially my mom. But what I want to emphasize here tonight is that not every teenager like me or person like me has the same story. Not every parent, family member, not every friend, school peer or co-worker is going to be as accepting as what my mum was to me. But on top of that, these people, we are living in a society that doesn't accept us for who we are. And on top of that again, even though this marriage law is a small law that may not be seen as a big deal to some people, it's this one law that gives this label to people that have different sexualities, to same-sex couples, that we are abnormal, that these couples are abnormal. And the fact is, this can make me, and many people like me, pretty upset, pretty angry. Because we are Australian citizens. We contribute to society just like every other Australian. Yet based on our personal and private sexual orientation, we are deprived of the basic civil rights, such as marriage. How can we expect teenagers like myself, the youth and future of our society, to not be afraid to come out and accept themselves and be who they are? It's because of this judgment. It's because of this one law that changes everything. Now, I am lucky to have such a supporting family. And I say lucky uncomfortably because, really, I shouldn't have to be lucky. But in this day and age, I consider myself lucky because not everyone has the same supporting family. But when I talk about judgment, I want to tell you a little bit of a story. I was reading an article on SBS Online, and there was a statement said by Dr. David Phillips. And he said, and I quote, "Same-sex marriage is as wrong as marrying a close relative." Now, when I read that, you can imagine how I felt. I was sad, I was upset, I was angry, I was confused. I couldn't believe that we actually had people in my society that think that. Is that what I'm thought as? But I want to let you know that it's statements like that that make the gay community, that make me feel like I'm unaccepted in society, like I am a second-class citizen. But more importantly, I know that legalizing same-sex marriage will get rid of that judgment, will get rid of that unacceptance. Like it has in our past with granting civil rights to people, it has proven It has finally been accepted in our society. Now, what I want to mention tonight is that this year, particularly, Australia has never had so much support for same-sex marriage. And I'm so grateful for that. And I'm so grateful that the government accepts and recognise same-sex couples just as they would with married couples. They grant the same benefits as if they would married couples. But the fact is that they're not going to allow these same-sex couples to get married. And that's where I'm confused. Because they say you can have civil unions, you can have commitment celebrations, you just can't get married. But then they use the argument, it's basically the same thing, don't worry about it. But if it's basically the same thing, then why not let us get married? And that's one thing that I really never could understand. I want to get married. Now, that will be in the future, and obviously I'm young and I can't tell if I ever will, but I at least want to have that kind of choice to get married to the person that I love. Same-sex marriage means everything to me. It means everything to people in my situation. It means everything to supporting families, to see their children, whether they're gay or lesbian, to get married, to be happy. It means not being seen as different. It means being treated like every other Australian. It means we can finally live with complete happiness and equality like we truly deserve. It will allow us to live our lives with the same rights as every single Australian. I, and everyone that I speak for, want to have a future where we are equal. Is that not too much to ask? Thank you.